Hello everybody, welcome back to Buzzard-Roost. I am Buzzard. Let's do a little talking. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to, I guess, kind of highlight a vegetable and kind of what I put down in my book. I've been staying busy. Processed a spike buck the other day. Got quite a bit of meat off of him. A lot of people around here corn feed their deer, so they're usually pretty big. Anyway, I was wanting to discuss about food staple shortages, such as your corn, wheat, soy, rice, and sugar. As probably everyone that watches my channels watches other channels that talk about this, how much has been lost, what's possibly going to be a shortage of meat also. So one of the things I want to suggest is, if you can't afford to do a greenhouse, do a cold frame. Look it up on YouTube. There's all sizes, shape, and forms of them. They're usually pretty easy. You can go as simple as some scrap wood and some plastic over it, or if you find say a window or a glass door or something like that at a garage sale that just is really dirt cheap, can't pass it up if you're planning on doing a cold frame. Because with this grand solar minimum or solar minimum, someone pointed out we don't know if it's going to be a grand solar minimum until it's probably halfway through it or over. So I'll just go with solar minimum. The jet stream, whenever the sun goes into a solar minimum, starts getting erratic. It drops way down south, some areas more than others. It can create a lot of rain, snow and ice in the wintertime, stuff like that. So that's where a greenhouse or a cold frame would work really good. It might help extend your growing season a little bit. If you could get, say, 4 windows, they're all the same size, and some scrap lumber, you could literally do 2 windows in front or 3 windows in front, and maybe 1 on the side or 1 on both sides, and then just put a top on it, because in the wintertime the sun is a lot lower, so you're still going to get a lot of solar gain through that. But start planning on a cold weather type growing season. That's something I'd like to ask anyone watching my videos. If you live up north and you have a very short growing season, and you keep records or track of what you grow, how well it grew, and what varieties and stuff, please get a hold of me. I would like to start purchasing seeds that is specifically for a short season or a colder season or cool season crops. So please get a hold of me through my email. It's on my YouTube channel. It's in the About section. Let's see. Another thing that I spoke on, it was several months ago, about the canning operations that closed down, and on top of that they have purchased, I guess, land or something like that in Africa, because with this colder season coming on, places like Africa that is unbearable to live in now, is a good possibility that's going to be the growing area for the world again, places like that. So learn how to grow in a cooler weather, shorter season. And also try to grow your regular stuff. If you get some out of it, that'll be great, but kind of cover your bases with either or. Now, if you figured up that you're going to need 20 tomato plants that produce good for your family to live on, or to supplement your family for a year, it won't do no good to grow that much if you cannot preserve it. Canning is a great way to preserve it. For example, tomatoes is a great way to preserve it. It's time consuming, and it's also usually done in the hottest part of the season, which is late summer, mid to late summer. So unless you got an outdoor kitchen, you're looking at heating your house up in the summertime. What I am going to try to do is find me a sliding glass door, patio door, and build a solar dehydrator. If you can dehydrate your food, it should last as long as food that you can. And it's a lot less time consuming, saves a lot of space, saves you some money because you don't have to go through the process of the fuel to water bath or pressure can your food. You don't have it'll save you the space as far as you can get more into a mason jar or just any jar really that is airtight. So it'll save you money and time, and it'll keep you from heating up your house in the summertime when you've been outside all day working. You don't want to come into the house or work inside the house when it's just as hot, if not hotter, in the house. So those are the two main ways I know of. Well, another one would be fermenting. Now, I'm not real familiar with fermenting, but to stop the fermenting, if I understood right, you put it in like the refrigerator and it stops it. Well, in a shift situation, you may not have a refrigerator. Now, if you have a cool or cold cellar, that would probably work. But the main way I'm going to try to look at it, at doing it, would be to solar dehydrate it. Let's see here. Another item that you might want to get, it'd be good for doing your natural remedies, small batches of flour or corn or such, would be a mortar and pestle. And of course you wouldn't want to get one of the little bitty ones. You'd want to try to get a bigger one. So that might be something people need to look into. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wrote down. I was things were coming in my mind, so I just write a little kind of cliff note for it and muddle my way through the rest of it after the cliff note. So let's go to one of the seeds. Now, the 1,000 giveaway, she should be receiving her seeds either today or tomorrow, if I was to guess. That's usually about how long it takes. So, one of the packs of seeds that I got is Chinese white radishes. Now, in an earlier video, I said you need to try to write down the items you got or the seeds you got, and when to grow them, how to save seed, and things like that. So if I'm not here after the balloon goes up, someone can grab my books. It's going to be a total nightmare because not everything is in one book. I may have some gardening in this one and some gardening in another, so they're going to have to spend some time looking for the stuff. One of these days, maybe, but I doubt it, I'll go through and reorganize everything and have like just a gardening book. So, this video here I want to do Chinese white radishes, and there's quite a few seeds. So white radishes or radishes seeds can last up to 5 years. So let me go over what I've got wrote down here. Chinese white radish is a winter radish. I know it says a winter radish, but I added a little footnote. After the first frost, or after the last frost, when the ground's workable, I'd go ahead and plant some in the spring. Even if you don't get to eat those, if they bolt too quickly and you didn't have time to pick them and stuff, and they bolted, they're going to create seeds that you could plant in the fall. So anyway, sow directly into ground, 1/2 inch deep, 2 inches apart. Let's see, 2 inches apart. Every 3 to 6 weeks, or 3 to 6 weeks before first frost, or before last frost. I'm sorry. Or no, before first frost. I went to my cliff notes on that one. It's a cool weather plant. Sow in late summer to mature in fall. Water frequently and maintain moist soil. Full sun. Plant a batch every week, 1 week apart. Add nitrogen-rich fertilizer or manure to improve root growth and leaf structure. They mature in 3 to 6 weeks. Roots are 2 to 4 inches in diameter and 6 to 20 inches long. Store in a cool, dry place, minus the leaves, so cut off the leaves, for several months. Saving seeds. Let plant bloom and allow the seed pods to dry. A little note on that. When the seed pods are young, they say they are very good to eat. But anyway, seeds will store up to 5 years in a cool, dry area. Allow 1 out of 10 plants to go to seed. They can be grown with carrots, parsley, and parsnips. Now, with the shorter season, you might be able to grow a lot more radishes than you can grow anything else. That's all I got wrote down on here. So, a lot of it's going to be a trial and error. So let's say you plant after what you think is the last frost or last spring frost. If you plant a batch every week, say if you just planted, I don't know, 10 or 20 seeds, and you space them out, every week you plant another 10 or 20, and keep records of it. If the first batch grew, it had grown, mature, and all that, you know where to kind of give you an idea where to start the previous year, or the next year. You might want to start on the last frost. I don't know. It's just something you'd have to experiment with. But even if you are not able to consume your spring batch, if you let at least 1 out of every 10 plants grow, you're going to get enough seeds, more than enough, to plant in the fall. So it says let me find it real quick. 3 to 6 weeks before first frost. I may go in there and change that. That's what the instructions say. I'll probably go in and change this to 6 to 8 weeks before first frost. And the reason is, if you're planting them a week apart, you've got a good opportunity to produce edible food before it goes to bolt. But if it does go to bolt, like I said, that'll just give you that many more seeds to grow in the spring or the next fall. So that would be my suggestion to anyone that's growing anything, such as the seeds that you set back for planting in a shift situation, is go ahead and write down it doesn't take long. You can get on the internet and look up the seed, when to grow them, what kind of soil to grow them in, and how to save the seeds. Write it down in a book, because this pack here doesn't give you any information on it. I'm sure some packages do, like the package you buy at Walmart will have, you know, how deep to grow them, when to grow them. But still, you need to write everything down. So if you're not around to be able to teach it through example and verbally, they'll be able to learn it through your writings, what you've learned. Now, what I will do in the spring is, if I decide to grow in the spring, which I plan on to, I will write down when the last frost was, when I planted, how many I planted, how many I harvested, how many I let go to bloom or to seed. I'll do that in the spring, and anytime I'm growing it. Say I miss some or forget it, and it gets into the hot part of the summer, they're really not edible. They're pretty pungent. I will write that down. You know, this is 10 weeks after my last planting. They're unedible. Even the pigs won't eat them, type thing. But it gives someone in the future a reference to go on. It'll give them temperature, times, dates, and how to do it, and what you was able to produce. Anyway, that's it for this video. I think I will start doing a pack of seeds every video, kind of an ending thing. And everyone take care. God bless. Oh, don't forget, dead fish follow the flow of the stream. Don't be a dead fish. This is Buzzard. See ya.